Now, let's talk about it's a little your all-time baseball because you've discussed this with a couple of people on some
Sure.
podcasts, and I personally think it's awesome because you not only follow it, you follow the history, but you also play it,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. So that's one of the other baseball things I got into in Rochester was vintage baseball. And so that's baseball, two words, because that's the way it was originally said and written and everything until probably about the 1880s, 1890s.
Hmm.
And it like with a lot of things, it was kind of a gradual transition from two words to one word. But there's a group called the Roosters Baseball Club of Rochester that plays 1860s rules of baseball, and it's kind of sponsored and hosted by the Olmsted County History Center, which is the local
That's
historical
awesome.
group there. Um, we just have a cleared flat field with a sort of a half wooden fence in the outfield
Hmm.
that we play at for our home games, and it's not super competitive. I mean, we want to win when we go out there, but it's not the
The whole
only
point is not to win or lose.
right. It's to go out there and have fun, and then we also have an educational mission as well. So, since we're partnered with the History Center, we'll usually whoever's umpiring our game will usually kind of give a rundown to the crowd of kind of rules differences, might explain some things that happened during the game. Um, so when we have our home games, we're doing that a lot.
That's pretty cool.
So some of the differences between 1860 and modern baseball. First
Please
one is
do.
there's no gloves. It's all bare hands. So because of that, and because it's hard to catch a baseball with your bare hands, there's the one bound rule. So if you catch a ball that's hit the ground and bounce, you catch it on the first bounce, that's an out, just like if you caught it in the air. The only difference is that if the ball is caught on the bound, you don't have to tag up necessarily to advance. So if the
Mm.
ball is caught in the air, you would have to tag up on if you're on the bases to
That's the
advance.
normal part, right? So if it's caught
Right.
in the air, you still have to tag from
Yeah.
the base right into the other. But if it bounces and it's
Then you're off to the races. You're
there's
good.
no tagging, you just off you go.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
So ball is also made a little bit differently. So
Hmm.
modern baseball has a cork center. Um, 1860 balls have a hard rubber center, and then all the balls we use are handmade. So
Oh
our
wow.
guy who's kind of our organizer and captain makes most of the balls we use by hand. Excuse me. So he'll start off with a rubber core, wrap twine around it, sew up the leather around it, and it has kind of that X pattern, lemon peel sort of ball that some people may be familiar with. They're brown usually, so it's a little harder to pick up sometimes than a modern white baseball.
Right, because you're
But we
playing
don't like
it.
gob tobacco juice on it or anything. Just um, but it is because they're handmade and because they're not as tightly wound and they're made of a little bit different material. Uh, they behave a little bit differently than a modern baseball. So uh, they get softer over time. They'll get softer over the course of the game. Sometimes
Oh,
they can get really waterlogged. Um,
eesh.
in kind of in recognition of how it was then, we'll usually try to get through a whole game with one ball. So unless somebody knocks the absolute crap out of it and it falls apart, or it's just so waterlogged it's not useful anymore.
Right. Then at
We'll
that point, yeah,
quickly,
that just it just you just need to go get another one.
right. So like back in the day, you'd go through the whole game with a ball, and then the team that won would take the ball home
Oh, really?
as their prize.